Monday night, last night, Clearview Township Council meeting went down, and we are privileged to have Clearview Township Mayor Chris Vanderkruys joining us on the phone. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Not a problem.
Good morning, Chris. There was lots on the agenda. A building permit fee review public meeting. What's happening with building permits in Clearview Township?
Well, the biggest thing was they had a report done back in 2008, and we just wanted to bring it back to life to see, do we need to change our permit fees because we have a deficit following us from 2007, or do we need to just hope that people are going to begin building?
And were there any members of the public who asked questions or who spoke about this last night?
There was a few, and there have actually been a few at my town hall meetings that I host. So I think the thing is, not that we're in favor of certainly raising our fees, but we do have to be conscious of the cost going forward as to, do we keep a deficit on the table or do we look at reducing that deficit?
And what kind of deficit are we talking about, and what kind of fee change might you be considering?
So the report from 2008, which, 2008, that's a long time ago, it actually asked for 115% basis, so 100% coverage plus 15% tack on to look after any contingency going forward. And what happened is, over those years now, we've built up almost a $319,000 deficit within the building department.
That's a big number.
Well, actually, when you think of it, it's not that big of a number. It's almost just a little less than 3/4 of a fire truck.
Okay, well, when you put it in perspective like that, so what's next in this process, Chris?
Well, what we did was we had a public meeting, and what we did, we actually deferred it till October, just so we have gives the staff some time to answer some of the questions we asked about it, as well as gives us a little more time to maybe hear back from the community itself. I mean, that's the biggest thing. We're looking to grow. We don't want to be sitting still, and we don't want to deter the individual builders that may be building. It may not be big deal for such big subdivision plans, but definitely for builders it is.
And also at Town Hall, at council meeting last night, the Collingwood Hospital Development, or Citizens for Collingwood Hospital Development, rather, they made a presentation. And what is this group, and what did they want to say to you?
Well, they're just more concerned. They want to make sure the hospital stays in Collingwood, and that's sort of where their focus point is. And whereas, even the mayor's forum, the local mayors all meet with the hospital board and everything else, and we're kept up to date on many things, and we have to sort of remain neutral in the sense that, the hospital board is certainly going to do the right thing, whichever their final decision is. And they've taken public consultation, they've taken our consultation, they've taken a lot of different consultation in. And in the end, it actually comes up to the ministry. So, it was great that they showed their concern, but, we don't side with one way or the other at this point.
We're talking with Clearview Township Mayor Chris Vanderkruys, and coming up next, we're going to talk more about what went down at council last night, as well as your very interesting weekend. That is after One Direction. It's 8:23. Good morning. The Beach Breakfast with McCully and Catherine filling in for Marianne. Sunny today, a high of 23. Right now, it's 17 at the beach.
And we are in conversation with Clearview Township Mayor Chris Vanderkruys. Thanks for joining us this morning, Chris. We appreciate it.
Not a problem.
So we've been recapping a little bit about what happened at Clearview Township Council meeting last night. Before we get to a bit more of that, you had an interesting weekend. You were doing some fire training?
Yes, actually, I always have interesting weekends for sure as mayor of Clearview. But on Sunday, actually, I was invited out to Base Borden with our fire chief and deputy chief, and they had arranged some real good training in the buildings there that actually have live fires. And so we had about 42 of our volunteer firefighters out for the day, and they actually geared me up in the complete suits and oxygen mask and everything, and I was in there. So what I was doing was actually more observing the process of how they fight a fire, but in the dark, of course, and then actually right by the fire itself. So it was certainly an experience no matter what. I mean, it was very thrilling. I was in for about 15 minutes or 18 minutes or so. And by that time, of course, you could really feel the heat coming through your suit. And it was, it was an experience for sure. I was very happy to have done it and worked beside our firefighters and watched them actually in action and sort of feel a little bit, just a piece of maybe what they go through every time that they do actually go to a fire.
And some remarkable photos, I understand, on your Facebook and your Twitter pages.
Yeah, exactly. I have the mayor Facebook page and then at Vanderkruys as the Twitter. But they actually, one is really bad because it's my hair. after coming out of the suit and everything. It's like, the chief didn't tell me my hair looked like that. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, I should have taken the brush and brushed her down.
Just a few seconds left. Mayor, what's happening with the NEC hearing? Did that resume this week?
So that's still in the process. I mean, it's still going to be probably by fall. Hopefully we have some word back on that. It's sort of hit and miss. I mean, I'm not sure which way it's going to go, but hopefully we can move forward and do what we had planned to do years ago, I guess, under the previous council. But
and that has to do with a road that you were going to fix up.
91, yeah, that's right. We're closing 91 and restructuring 26, 27.
So we're still waiting for some word on that.
Yeah, for sure. The only other exciting thing last night was we actually presented the Stainer Lions Club with their 60th anniversary certificate, which is a big thing, 60 years, you think of it. And when they talk about Lions Clubs, they talk about each individual Lion member and how they impact lives. And, if they impact over 1,000 people over their time as a Lion, that's a lot of people. And Lions Club International is going to be celebrating 100 years next year.
That's unbelievable.
So, it is, yeah, and we actually had one and a half members that were actually charter members. So that's a long time to be a charter member for a Lions Club for sure. So, and we appreciate everything they do in the community. They're always partnering with us and always looking out for the best efforts of everything to do with the community. So,
congratulations to them, and thank you, Chris Vanderkruys, Mayor of Clearview Township, for joining us on the Beach Breakfast this morning.
Hey, thank you again, and enjoy your week in Clearview.